Being a comedian is the greatest job in the world. Like, greatest job in the world once you get to my level. The only thing I don't like is all the travel. I'm always flying somewhere, always in an airport. Even flying into Chicago a couple days ago, 2.5-hour flight delay. I'm stuck in an airport bar, talking to some random ass. And I got nowhere to go. So I'm like, hey man, what do you do? And he says, and I quote, "Oh, nothing right now. But I used to be a priest." As in, oh, right? But I got nowhere to go. So we keep talking, we keep drinking. Finally, 2 hours goes by. Guy gets up, he says, hey man, I gotta catch my flight. But I don't wanna lie to you. I used to be a priest, I got kicked out because I molested a kid. Now here's the thing. After talking to this guy and getting to know this guy for 2 hours, I have to admit he was actually a really cool guy. You know, like, if you could forget about, all that Jesus bull. Yeah, that's a favorite. I'm probably going to tell it again later. But it's not all bad news with me. My grandfather turns 100 years old next month. Maybe. I'm really skeptical. I don't think I ever got over my grandmother's death when I was a kid. My grandmother died from a heart attack during my 9th birthday party. Literally while she was eating cake. And I guess that must have screwed me up a little bit, I mean, I still have birthday parties, but now I'm just careful what I wish for. I'm sure my dad had his problems, he had his issues. My dad was a big-time alcoholic, major league alcoholic, blackout every night kind of alcoholic. But to his credit, my dad never once laid a finger on either me or my mom, not once. And I don't know if it was just because he loved us so much, or if he just hated my sisters. But either way, he was a great dad. I remember a tough time for me. I was like 10 years old. My parents called me into their bedroom. They say, Anthony, we want to get a divorce. You have to decide which one of us you want to live with. And I was a 10-year-old kid. I didn't know any better. I just said, Dad, I want to live with Dad. It was heartbreaking. My mom just looked at the floor and said, well, whatever you want, Anthony. And my dad just said, I don't want a divorce anymore. And maybe the most uncomfortable moment of my life was when my dad gave me the sex talk. Oh, God. The old man was into some really crazy But then maybe the greatest moment of my life ever, I think this is like a universal thing for guys. I'm 12 years old, I'm sneaking around my house, and I found my dad's porn in the back of the attic. That was a great day. That was a game changer for me.
My old man left it in their bathroom. I didn't have to look for it. It was fucking there.
That was a great day. That was a game changer for me. But then the worst day of my life was the day I found my mom's porn in the back of that video store. I told that joke recently on Conan. That's right, Conan. And immediately afterwards, my mom called me on the phone. And she said, Anthony, what the do you really have to make up a joke that makes me sound like I work in pornography and then say it on Conan? That's my least favorite joke that you have. And I just said, well, Mom, that's only because you haven't heard the other jokes I tell about you. That they are not allowed to let me say on Conan. Per example. My mom is crazy. Right? People always like to joke, oh, my mom's crazy. My mom is crazy. Right? Her entire house is filled with nothing but pictures of Princess Diana. And they're all from right after the accident.
Oh, that's fucked up. Oh.
Most of them she drew, like it's really up, you guys. And my mom's been having a hard time lately, you know. She just found out she has to have both of her breasts removed if she's ever gonna be good at golf. Yeah, that cannot be easy to hear. So I went home to visit. I'm from Pittsburgh originally. You know, just hang out with my mom for a little bit, you know? Yeah, congrats. Just want to go home and hang out with her for a little bit, you know, help her out, cheer her up. But all my mom cares about now is the lottery and me running errands for her, like every day. Every day it's Anthony, go play my numbers. Go play my numbers, please, I don't want to miss out today. Finally, after a week of this, I had to say to her, Mom, are you out of your goddamn mind? Don't you know you've got a better chance of getting struck by lightning than me doing you a favor? Now, you guys have been a great crowd tonight. You've gone with me everywhere I've wanted you to go. But you've just been sitting there this whole time thinking, Anthony, this is all well and good. But where are your offensive jokes? Where are your showstoppers, if you will? Well, guys, I saved those for the end. I'm going to tell you all a series of jokes right now that are going to get increasingly more offensive. I like that enthusiasm. Let's see how far it carries. They say it's easy. They say it's easy to make fun of retarded people. But let me tell you guys something, it is not. You have really got to explain it to them. That was the first one. Every night my girlfriend comes home from work and she brings with her a houseplant. She's like, Anthony, I had to pick this up. We need a houseplant in our apartment. And every night I make her return it. I say, no way, baby. You can't take care of a houseplant. You couldn't even keep your baby alive. 2 for 2, huh? We just found out my little brother has a peanut allergy. A peanut allergy, which is very serious, I know. But still, I feel like my parents are totally overreacting. They caught me eating a tiny little bag of airline peanuts, and they kicked me out of his funeral.
Honestly, I think the keep your baby alive joke was worse than that one. That one was that was tame.
I feel like some of you guys might be too nice to laugh at some of these jokes. And that's okay, not everybody has a great sense of humor. You guys would probably love my little nephew. He's like 6 years old, so cute. I talk to him every day on the phone, and he's unbelievable. He's got like the greatest imagination ever. He's either gonna be an incredible artist someday, or he really did get molested.
Got himself. That's great.
I wasn't even laughing about that one. I was thinking about what's coming. I feel like I need to say, like, I really believe this, that being a mother seems like one of the toughest jobs in the world, right? Like, literally, right below comedian. So to me, if a mother does her best, then in my book, she's a good mom. Now, my mom did her very best. Unfortunately, she was also a terrible person. Like my mom, for most of her life, and this is true, my mom, for most of her life, was a Holocaust denier. Right? Does everybody know what that means? I mean, she couldn't believe the Holocaust happened. It's like the worst thing you can be. And it was terrible for the entire family to have to deal with. Until finally, a couple of years ago, we had an intervention. And we had a rabbi come into the home, had him walk her through the history of the Jewish people. And then he made her watch Schindler's List. And after that, my mom did a complete 180. Now, she can't believe it only happened once. I'm not a religious person. I would call myself an atheist. You know, I don't have a good story behind it. I'm just reasonable. And my girlfriend has got like the greatest story behind why she's not religious anymore. So when she was a kid, like 12 years old, her parents nailed a 25-pound crucifix to the wall right above her bed. And about 2 weeks later, in the middle of the night, the crucifix falls off the wall and leaves a 2-inch gash in the back of her dad's head. Like, whether you laughed or not, you got to admit, that's a great story. Now, this is the ideal time to tell you guys that I love to meet fans after the show. I like when people come up and say, Anthony, you're a genius. Anthony, best show I've ever seen. And that's it. I don't ever want to hear anything else. If you've got a bone to pick with me over something I've said tonight, instead, you should just shut the up. Because seriously, I know more about comedy than you do. And you came to see me. Like I said, shut the up. But still, even after I've just said all that, you still feel like you need to come up and bitch. Well, then I will be as polite as I can possibly be. However, it is ill-advised. Because you will end up as a joke in my act. Much like the blind guy who came up and complained to me in Seattle after a show. He walked up and said, Anthony, Anthony. Why didn't you tell any blind jokes tonight? I came here to hear blind jokes tonight. And I said, well, here's a blind joke. Another good one for me was the lesbian in Portland who ran up after a show. And I know she was a lesbian because she ran up and yelled out, Anthony, I'm a lesbian. And I thought you were really funny tonight. But you're just lucky you didn't make any lesbian jokes up there. Because I would have gotten really mad if you had made fun of any lesbians tonight. And I wanted to say to her, hey, do you realize that that makes you a terrible person? And that you have no sense of humor? Plus, you're an idiot. If you felt okay laughing at all the other messed up things I joked about, but you'd have gotten really upset if I'd made fun of you or something you cared about. And I was gonna say all that. But then I remembered Anthony. She's a lesbian. She knows. My second favorite post-show interaction of all time had to be, I was in Boston a couple years ago, and a very drunk girl, they're always very drunk, ran up to me. And she screams out, you should never make fun of the Holocaust. And I said, why? You know, just to be a dick. And she says, because I lost family in the Holocaust. And I said, well, you don't look Jewish. And she said, listen, ass, there are certain lines you're not supposed to cross. Certain boundaries you're never supposed to push. And I said, hey, 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 I just gave you a compliment. But my favorite, the best, most unbeatable, never gonna happen again post-show interaction of all time had to be just about a year ago. I was performing in Orlando, Florida, home of Casey Anthony. And this is right after the trial, like immediately after the trial. And I said, listen, everybody, I don't understand what the big deal is here. Of course, Casey Anthony is innocent. If she's guilty of anything, it's killing her baby. Now, after the show, I'm taking pictures, signing tits. You know how it is. And a guy walks up to me, totally sober, looking very upset. And he says, you need to do me a favor. which is a terrible way to start. He says, you need to never tell another Casey Anthony joke ever again. And I said, why? You know, just to be a dick. And he says, I'll never forget this. He says, because her daughter, Kaylee Anthony, is my niece. And I said, bull. At which point he takes out his phone, sadly hits a couple buttons, and he shows me a picture of him holding little Kaylee Anthony in happier times, of course. And he says, see, you son of a bitch. And I said, no, man, I believe you. I just mean she was your niece. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you so much.
Oh, that was fucking hilarious, huh? Oh, man, that was good shit. I'll tell you what. Fucking, there was a couple of them, I was like, ooh, that was a hard one. But when he said, I'm going to get offensive, yeah, he did a little, but not really. I think he was more offensive a couple other times, but no, I never got offended. To me, I think it's just fucking hilarious. So that was good shit, man. Anthony Jeselnik, he's funny as hell, man. And it really just warmed my heart when he would laugh. You know what I mean? Because he's so stoic, just deadpanned, dry, very dry humor, and it's fucking great, man. He was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Make sure you go check out Anthony Jeselnik and the Comedy Central thing there, man. I put all that stuff down in the description, man. And, yeah, far up, man. Hey, if you had a fun with me, man, hit my subscribe. Drop a like and a comment, and I'll check you guys on the next one, man. I love y'all, man. Whoop, whoop. Oh.